4-star operators are the easiest to get and build. But with so many options in the game, it can be confusing on who to build. So in this video, I will give you my top 10 operators to build as a new player. I will also tell you if you should promote them to Elite 2 or not, and what higher rarity operators who you might have can replace them, making it easier to decide what operator you want to level up next. Just a quick note, when I recommend higher rarity operators, keep in mind that the 4-star operators are easier to build and to get their potential, while also having lower DP costs. Let's get started. Number 10. Mei. Mei is a marksman operator who focuses on slowing and stunning enemies with her second skill. This skill also grants her a huge 90% attack buff on a small SP cost and a good skill uptime, making Mei a very reliable crowd control and a DPS unit at the same time. This also makes her a very valuable pick in IS-3 to deal with the Sea Drifter. Overall, Mei provides a lot of crowd control in her slow and mini stuns. What operators can replace her? She can be replaced by Cruise Alter if you value more damage over a little decrease in crowd control. Should you E2 her? Mei doesn't benefit that much from E2 except for a bit of extra stats. So the answer is no. Number 9. Gravel. Gravel is a bait operator thanks to her first skill giving her a massive defense boost, or her second skill giving her a huge barrier equal to 180% of her max HP that decays over 10 seconds. She can stall enemies, bosses, or taunt their attacks easily, but her best use case is against ranged enemy units like enemy casters that can easily two-shot your ranged operators. Because she is a 4-star operator, her DP cost won't get too high, and her talent further decreases it. Ultimately a good investment, especially if you are new to the game and you don't know how to place your operators properly. What operators can replace her? Phantom has a similar skill 1, but he has a way higher DP cost. Is this a new low in Phantom's career? Should you E2 her? Gravel has a low priority for E2, but she does benefit from the extra stats. Number 8. Pinecone. Pinecone must be the most underrated 4-star operator, and that might be because of her small attack range and high DP cost, but she makes up for it by having true AoE attack. That means she can attack all enemies in her attack range, unlike AoE snipers who can attack only 3 enemies at a time. Her talent improves her own SP recovery rate by plus 0.5 SP per second for 60 seconds after deployment, and it pairs very well with her skills. Her first skill is her main one. It does a lot of burst damage in her range to all enemies while ignoring some of the target's defense. This skill can hold 3 charges, helping it take advantage of the extra SP recovery in the first minute of the game. In conclusion, Pinecone is one of the best counters of a large group of enemies coming through one lane. What operators can replace her? Chen Alter is a straight up upgrade from her. Should you E2 her? She does benefit a lot from extra stats, but she is not a priority. My advice for this one is to use her, and if you like her playstyle you can go ahead and E2 her. Number 7. Kora. The best defender you can have in this rarity is Kora. Her talent gives her a plus 12% defense boost. When her second skill is active, she stops attacking. Block plus 1, defense plus 95%, restores HP by 2% of max HP every second. I can't even count how many times the extra block saved me as a new player. The defense boost helps her tank serious damage from hard-hitting enemies and early game bosses, while keeping herself sustained when there are no healers thanks to her HP recovery. And her not attacking isn't really an issue since her job is to defend and her damage is negligible anyway. What operators can replace her? Any higher rarity operator in her archetype is an upgrade. But stages that require multiple defender operators are common, so you might want to level her anyways. Should you E2 her? If you don't have better options, you could E2 her to scale with the rest of your team. Number 6. Suzero. Suzero is one of the best single target healers, not just in her rarity but the entire game, and that is mainly because of her second skill. Attack plus 70%, attack speed plus 70. While it looks simple, it is the best consistent burst healing skill in the game. Just remember, you can only activate it twice in one battle as a demerit. Nothing more can be said about her except she is a great healer. What operators can replace her? Warfarin and Shining have better utility and support, and Lumen has better consistent healing with stun remove. Should you E2 her? The stats from E2 improve her healing quite a lot, but if you have the resources you are better off with Lumen. Number 5. Click. When it comes to 4-star operators, Click is your best choice for art damage while being versatile. Her attack speed alongside her drone attack allows her to deal with multiple weak enemies or high HP bosses easily. Her second skill changes her range to be similar to a marksman sniper's attack range, attack plus 58%, and grants herself and drone a 23% chance to stun enemies for 0.7 seconds, which works well with her fast attack speed. Overall, Click will likely be your best choice for art damage early in the game, with good range and mini stuns on her second skill. What operators can replace her? Higher rarity Mecha Chord casters have way higher damage output but less crowd control. If you want something in the middle, you can build Kora. Should you E2 her? E2 does raise her damage output considerably. You can E2 her if you don't have better art damage options. Number 4. Gummy. Gummy is one of the most versatile operators you can get in the early game. You can deploy her first and then build a lane holding team around her like snipers, casters, and ranged guards. This way you can save DP by not having to deploy a medic early in the game. She has a stun chance in her talent for stalling. Her first skill offers very good healing without the 50% HP condition like Myrtle's and Saria's skill 1. But that also means she will sometimes waste her heal on a near full HP ally. Her second skill is best when paired with a medic operator with a good constant healing like Lumen. That way you can use this skill as an extra burst of healing in strong enemy waves. Overall, a great medic defender that will still be viable to use later in endgame. What operators can replace her? Gummy can be replaced by Saria's second skill and Myrtle if you don't care about the 50% HP condition on her first skill. Should you E2 her? She isn't a priority target for Elite 2, but it will increase both her bulk and healing output. Number 3. Ethan. When it comes to stalling melee enemies, Ethan is one of the best operators for this job. His second talent has a 25% chance to bind the targets for 3 seconds when attacking. A 25% chance to bind might not seem enough, especially with his low attack interval of 3.5. So this is when his second skill comes in handy. Attack plus 50%, increase the chance to trigger talent to 2.5 times. With this skill, he can stall enemies more efficiently so your lane holders won't get overwhelmed. In conclusion, a great stall operator to build if you lack the attack power to deal with large groups of enemies with medium to high max HP. What operators can replace him? You can go for Manticore if you want stun instead of bind, or you can go for Mizuki if you want more damage. Should you E2 him? His talent will have an extra second of bind from 2 seconds to 3 seconds, so it is not a lot of value. Number 2. Jay. Jay is arguably the strongest melee 4-star operator. Though he consumes 3 DP every 3 seconds as a demerit, he has very high base stats for his rarity, and both his skills have low SP cost and unlimited duration. His first skill gives him a plus 45% attack and silences enemies for 1 second with each attack. The silence debuff is a rare and valuable skill to have. It stops the enemy skill from activating, helping you deal with annoying enemy mechanics, like the exploding spiders, dodging enemies from Stultifer and Abyss, freeze spiders, and so on. His second skill is his best one. It gives him a plus 40% attack, and every attack heals Jay and a nearby ally equal to 40% of the damage dealt. Overall consistent healing and damage output, one of the best melee operators you can get starting out. What operators can replace him? There isn't a straight upgrade from Jay, but if you want the same durability without the DP consumption, you should try any of the currently existing Dollkeepers. Should you E2 him? He is a stats-reliant operator, so the more stats he has the better he performs. Number 1. Myrtle. Myrtle is the best DP generating operator in the game. Thanks to her low rarity, she is cheap to deploy, giving you space to deploy another Vanguard or a Brawler Guard alongside her immediately. This is very important as she can't block enemies herself when her skill is active. Her talent grants all Vanguards, including herself, HP regeneration. This can come in handy if you want to place her away from healers. Her first skill is the best DP generating skill in the game. It generates a lot of DP at a small SP cost. Her second skill has less DP generating than her first skill, but it has healing. It's a very situational skill. You can use it in stages that require healing early on, like the Poison Fog stages. In conclusion, she is the best DP generator, and she can make your life easier if you want to deploy high DP cost units, or in Annihilation in stages with no natural DP generation. What operators can replace her? Myrtle can't be replaced by any other operators. She has better DP generation and lower DP cost than other operators in her archetype. Should you E2 her? You should E2 her when you are ready to mastery her first skill. These were my top 10 4-star operators. Let me know who are you planning on building next. Thank you for watching.